sees its first measles outbreak since 2009, and the Waffle House shooting suspect has been apprehended. Live from Southern Illinois University, this is River Region Evening Edition. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Zach Warhus.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. We have plenty of news to get to tonight, but first, let's check in with Jordan with a look at how our conditions are for the rest of the night. Jordan.
Well, we saw some clouds move into our region. Even a peak of sun came out today, but that did not last long. This is what we're checking out for temperatures. The temperatures are going to start at 63 as the sun gets to go down at about 7:40 tonight. And as you can see, a steady decrease as the time goes on. Overnight hours, we're looking at temperatures going down from the mid-50s to the lower 50s. And by the time it's time to go to school, get up and go to work, sun may shine for a little bit, mostly sunny conditions, but we are looking at clouds moving into the region as we go on, and temperatures are going to be in those upper 40s. So it is going to be a chillier start to the week, but we're seeing steady warmer temperatures coming later on in that week. We do have a dry weekend. I know we're all looking forward to getting it out. Sunday looks pretty good. We've got some sun in our forecast and possibly a 70, and I do have that 5-day forecast plus more coming up.
All right, Jordan, thanks. Chancellor Carla Montemanio has hired a new vice chancellor to recruit students for SIUC. Jennifer DeHammers is the new vice chancellor for student affairs and enrollment. DeHammers served as the vice chancellor for the University of Missouri, Kansas City since 1997. The job has been open at SIUC since 2014.
As part of Mental Health Awareness Month, a local sorority held an event about mental health among people of African descent.
Evening Edition's Tiara Carpenter has more.
If something's going on with you, say it. If you need help, seek it.
It's common among the Black community that some people don't place value in maintaining their mental health.
And sometimes we don't seek the help that we honestly need.
Dr. Courtney Bodie, the Director of Counseling Services at SIUE, spoke to a group of people at Carbondale Elementary School. Bodie stressed mental health is not seen as important as physical health.
We don't make people go see a mental health provider. People just have chance encounters with them. And the encounters that they tend to have tend to be when something is really wrong. So then that's the impression that most people in the public have of us. You come to see me when something is wrong.
Bodie says it is especially important for those of African descent to seek help sooner.
Those are the groups that, because they don't tend to go in when they should, and don't tend to prevent as much, then when we see them, they tend to be in higher states of distress and can have a harder time getting better.
A common belief among Black people is they don't go to therapy, they go to church instead. Bodie says he thinks that's because the Black church represents a source of healing and wellness.
That doesn't necessarily get you consistent access to trained mental health providers. And so, in my opinion, I think we should be working together.
Inside the Rock Hill Baptist Church, Reverend Sidney Logwood addressed this mindset.
We just can't expect our faith to be a healer of everything.
Logwood says he doesn't think there's a blanket solution to this issue.
Sometimes you can just take advantage of teachable moments. I mean, people sometimes don't want to hear it, and then the right sort of circumstances present themselves and they may be ready to hear it now.
In Carbondale, for Evening Edition, I'm Tiara Carpenter.
This event was sponsored by the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Health officials say Iowa has been exposed to the first measles case since 2009. Customers at 2 Des Moines area restaurants may have been exposed to the illness recently. A Hardee's and a Panera in Des Moines seem to be the sources of the illness.
Staying home is always a good idea anytime you're sick with any illness, but especially with measles. Measles spreads pretty quickly and easily.
Health officials say both restaurants are now safe to visit and neither could have been prevented the possible exposure.
In Chicago, a nursing mother is accusing the Daly Center Courthouse of discrimination, and the ACLU has filed a complaint on her behalf. Judith Miller reported for jury duty at the courthouse last October. She wanted to pump breast milk for her 11-week-old son before her group was called. Miller said the circuit court's website says there's a private lactation room. However, when she asked, the staff directed her to the men's room because the women's room didn't have a working outlet.
Their solution was just to offer.
The discrimination complaint is against 3 different governmental entities responsible for jurors as well as the Daly Center building. The Cook County Circuit Court Chief Justice's office would not comment on pending litigation.
And ahead on Evening Edition, the bus crash leaves 12-year-old in critical condition.
Plus, the French president makes his first state visit of the Trump presidency.
There may be a link between yesterday's deadly van attack in Toronto and a similar attack on the University of Santa Barbara campus in 2014. Authorities say they found a post on the Toronto suspect's Facebook wall saying, quote, "All hail Supreme Gentleman Elliot Rodger." Rodger killed 6 and injured 14 in a drive-by shooting and ramming attack on the California campus. The Toronto suspect, 25-year-old Alec Menashin, was arrested and was charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder and 13 counts of attempted murder.
The people who call this city home are shaken, and we mourn together, but we are not broken.
So far, Canadian officials have not called yesterday's actions terrorism, and they say they don't believe national security is at risk.
The suspect accused in the fatal Waffle House shooting in Tennessee is in police custody.
Now, Travis Rankin's grandmother is expressing her condolences. Jeremy Finley reports.
Long before he was the subject of a frantic manhunt, the grandmother of Travis Rankin was worried, saying the man accused of horrific murders isn't the grandson she knows.
It's not him. He is a sick boy.
Marilyn Hopper joined Rankin's parents in 2016 in expressing concern to police when Rankin claimed Taylor Swift was harassing and stalking him. They advised he owns and had access to many firearms at his residence. After Sunday's massacre, Hopper says she wants Nashville to know this.
My heart goes out to those people who have loved ones they've lost. I've lost 2 children myself, and I know what that feels like. And so my heart really does go out to them. But you know, we have a side too.
A side that grows ever complicated. Online, Rankin's father is being heavily criticized. Police reports show he took 3 rifles and a handgun away from his son when he was having problems last June. The very next month, after Rankin was caught trying to enter the White House, his 4 weapons were ultimately taken from him by state investigators. Police believe Rankin's father, at some point, gave them back.
Could his father have violated gun laws by giving his son the weapons?
It is possible if you transfer weapons knowingly to a person that is prohibited, so that could potentially be a violation of federal law.
With their son now charged in the nation's latest deadly shooting, all his grandmother can do is express her remorse.
I'm just so sorry for those people and their loss. I really am. My heart goes out to them.
Police say Rankin has refused to answer their questions and his bond has been revoked. The Tennessee bus driver who caused a crash that killed 6 children and injured dozens of others will spend 4 years in prison. In March, a jury found Jonathan Walker guilty of 27 charges, including criminally negligent homicide, reckless driving, and use of a portable device by a school bus driver. Parents of the victims are upset that Walker was only sentenced 4 years, but the judge says Walker wasn't a habitual offender.
A chain reaction car crash left a 12-year-old in critical condition in Cincinnati. The driver of the sedan lost control in passing, sending another sedan into the lane of a school bus, spinning it out of control. More than a dozen people were taken to the hospital. And a 13-year-old Ohio boy is charged with aggravated murder after police say he was shot and killed his 11-year-old brother. According to police, the handgun was stolen from the boy's grandfather's home. So far, investigators say the shooting appears to have been premeditated. The 13-year-old was arrested and transported to a juvenile detention center. And former President George H.W. Bush is in intensive care. He's been there since a day after his wife, Barbara, was laid to rest. Bush has stabilized and is alert and talking. The 93-year-old was admitted to the hospital Sunday morning after contracting a blood infection.
President Trump is hosting French President Emmanuel Macron in the first state visit of the Trump presidency.
The 2 leaders are getting to the business side of the visit, discussing issues ranging from the Iran nuclear deal to the Paris Climate Agreement to the crisis in Syria. Kamel Burnell has more from Washington.
Plenty of pomp, circumstance, and elaborate military welcome for French President Emmanuel Macron, the first state visit of Trump's presidency. Both men reiterating their strong personal relationship.
And it's an honor to call you my friend. Thank you.
But highlighting differences in some major policy issues. On the Iran nuclear deal, Trump offering varying tones throughout the day.
People know my views on the Iran deal. It was a terrible deal. We could have at least an agreement among ourselves fairly quickly. France and the United States also agree that Iran cannot be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon.
Macron and other U.S. allies are in the midst of negotiating with the U.S. over the deal.
It's not a mystery. We did not have the same starting positions. We therefore...
It seems like temperatures may hold steady in the 60s, but will the sun come out soon? Jordan Taylor is in next with the forecast.
And on Wall Street, stocks ended the day with negative results, but stay tuned for the nightly business report coming up next at 5:30.
East winds at 6 miles an hour. So here's that steady temperature I talked about in the 60s. But as we go on into the weekend, it's a dry weekend. And as we always say, Sunday is in the 70s. It's sun. We're not tracking any rain in our region. So I think it's going to be a great chance to get out and enjoy your weekend, especially that Sunday. Sunshine throughout the majority of the day and 70s. So again, we're moving closer to Maine as we inch closer. Let's get some warmer weather in here, guys.
We're getting dangerously near to shorts weather.
Let's get it. I'm ready. I'm ready to put
there.
the jeans away. I'm ready to put my jacket away. I'm kind of sick of getting in my car and like turning on the heat sometimes.
No kidding.
It's tragic, but let's get those April showers out of the way and let's just get steady, dry temperatures and warm.
No kidding.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Jordan. And now here's Patrick Cotto with a preview of what's coming up next in sports. Patrick.
Well, coming up, the St. Louis Cardinals get set for action after a day's rest. And the Saluki baseball team prepares for another midweek matchup. Stay tuned. Sports View.
What you got coming up for us?
We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got baseball talking about Brad Harrison, who's having a phenomenal year so far. We'll have the voice of the Salukis in studio, Mike Reeson, a live interview. And we also got softball. A lot of great stuff's coming up this week.
And you're going to be there?
Yes, I will.
All right.
I will be there.
Sounds good.
I
Thanks,
can't wait
Patrick.
to tune in.
It should be fun.
All right. Thanks, Patrick.
No problem.
And the sun came out after a morning of rain, but will it stay? Jordan Taylor is in next with this 5-day forecast.
Don't go anywhere. You're watching Evening Edition at 5. Tonight is Jordan's last show after 4 years.
But before we get to that, let's take a final check of the forecast.
I'm liking what we have coming up. It's 60s across the board, and temperatures are going to steadily rise as we even get closer to the weekend. Looking at Friday, a high of 67 degrees, no rain across the board. You get to Saturday, we're inching near 70, and then we get to Sunday. We're in the 70s. Hopefully we get higher than that. We're just not going to look at the lows. Hopefully the lows start to bump up as we go on, and it's going to be like sweater weather as the sun goes down, and then those shorts and sandals as Zach's ready to get those shorts and sandals out. So hopefully we get some of that going on.
I like to see those temperatures. Even though we're seeing cloudy skies, we're still in the 60s.
We're still in the 60s, and hopefully the sun's going to push all those clouds out, and hopefully Mother Nature's going to lift those clouds out of our region, and then we just see all sunshine, warmer temperatures as the week goes on.
And there's a big difference between a cold rainy day and a warm rainy day. And we've been having warm rainy days.
Yeah, we'd rather take the warm rain.
Yeah. All right, so like Zach said, tonight is Jordan's last weathercast, and he's been doing weather for the past 3 years. Our producer and I dug into the archive and found his first weathercast. Take a look.
Now we're sitting at 46 degrees, pretty calm right there. Dew point at 38. Relative humidity pretty high. That's why we're going to get some warmer tempers that I'll get to later on right there.
This was from March 19th, 2015, and you've done a whole lot of weathercasts since then. Filled in on the desk. You're the news director. Tell us a little about your experience here at SIU.
It's actually been a very fun ride. Starting freshman year, it was fantastic. This program is amazing, and it allows us to do everything we want to do. And I didn't think actually coming in that I would want to be on air. I thought I was going to be like guy, behind the scenes, camera, directing or something. And I think I tried it out in rehearsal edition, and I kind of liked it. So I really enjoyed it, and this program is amazing, and I thank you all for watching and tuning in as you've kind of watched me grow and get better and better, obviously, from that first one. I'm going to talk to the producers about pulling that out of the archives a little bit, but other than that, it was fun.
All right. Well, Jordan's actually not the only one leaving us. Our executive producer, Justin Broom, is also graduating this May. From all of us at the Tuesday crew, we want to thank both of you for your dedication to this program. And we wish both of you well in your next adventures. Was he eating cake?
Looked like a salad.
It was salad.
It was a salad.
Yeah, it was a salad.
All right, well, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Zach Warhus.
And I'm Jacob Gordon. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night, everybody.